Hi, welcome to the We Can Work It Out podcast. I'm Jacob with my co-hosts.
Hi, I'm Evan.
And Vic.
And producer Matt.
Yep.
Today we're talking about With the Beatles. We're going to go through every song and then rank them individually.
All right. Well, With the Beatles was recorded in 1963, as we all know. Great album, great cover. Second album for the Beatles. It's kind of... it's really close to the first one, so it really has that same early Beatles sound as Please Please Me. We're listening to It Won't Be Long, the opening track.
Right away, you can already tell how different, like production-wise, from Please Please Me was to this.
Yeah, it has a little bit more of a polished sound.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
But even though it has that sound, I think it starts off really strong with that. With It Won't Be Long. I think it's a really good starting track.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's energetic.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the song, Jake?
Well, I really like I think it's like sort of it's sort of like a sad song, I feel like the lyrics are sort of sad, but it's like also hopeful. And I sort of like it feels like the lyrics were well thought out. And I think the harmony in it is also really good. I think it's a really good
Yeah, I really like the
start
background
to
vocals.
Yeah, I think it's a really good start to the album.
Yeah, I feel like Ringo really kicks ass on the song. He's got like really energetic drums. It's kind of subtle in the way, like he can't really but if you really listen to Ringo, he's doing something really cool. I like George's little guitar part. I mean, there's not too terribly crazy on the solo, but the callbacks are really cool.
Yeah.
I think what makes it really cool is Paul's last. Yeah, I don't know. I really like the high part at the very end.
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
It throws it. So yeah, great song.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of like the end of Help in a way. It's almost the same.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Damn Beatles copying themselves. All right, man. That was a good album. Good first track. Second.
That's a great album. Let's go on.
Move on. Next, what's the next track on there, Matt? It's,
All I've Got to Do.
All right, Evan.
In my opinion, I feel like it's kind of like not step down like quality wise, just like energy wise. It's kind of, you start off really strong and fast with It Won't Be Long, and right away just goes to like a slow song.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that All I've Got to Do is sort of like, I feel like With the Beatles is sort of like in transition from Please Please Me to A Hard Day's Night, and I feel like this song is like one of the best examples because it's like
definitely
way slower and has like that sort of same feel as A Hard Day's Night, in my opinion. Like,
Again, I think what goes really is not really talked about much is Ringo's drumming. It's such a field song. Like he doesn't really do like the classic drumming on the bridge. He does on the chorus. He does, but the intro he just has that cool like. It's just a little. I don't know what you call it, but it's different. It's definitely Ringo. It gives it that early Beatles sound. Paul and George do the amazing background vocals. Lyrics, they're okay, man. I think they're I think it's kind of an underrated Beatles song because it's not talked about much, but it's a very strong song in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it shows John's range as a vocal.
Again, speaking of John, I think you start off with 2 John songs off the bat.
yeah.
And I think that's why people really looked at him as a leader because he's, again, really strong in these early albums, you know, and just has that cool, strong, confident voice, as you were saying with the first album.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I think that he definitely, especially in like this album, like shows that he's like sort of like the most like professional in terms of like musical talent, where like he and Paul both had been like writing song after song, but like Paul's songs were still very sort of cheesy for the most part.
Yeah.
And John already had like this sort of like maturity and
Like sophistication.
yeah.
See, I agree with you on there, but I think on this album, George's sophistication comes out.
Yeah,
His guitar
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a way step up. It sounds like it was recorded years after Please Please Me.
I was gonna say on my notes, I have George. In my opinion, George is the MVP of this album.
Why? Because he married a Mexican chick.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's good. All My Loving. That's a Classic.
Yeah, classic. I have it written down. Classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Really
the
classic.
first song that was played on Ed Sullivan when the Beatles came in '64.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
Like,
Dude, John's guitar.
yeah, I mean, that's to keep up that rhythm that long. That
Yeah.
it's not easy. I've tried doing it, and it's. I mean, to keep it up that long, it's really hard.
Yeah.
The lyrics
That's
are
what she
great. But like Paul's bass, it's all over the place,
said. Yeah.
and it's just like that bouncy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
poppy, but it wasn't done at the time like that in that format, in that way. So George's guitar solo, again, it's super strong.
I really like George and Paul singing. Was it the last verse?
Which part is that?
I think it's like right after the solo. George and Paul sing together. I really like that.
Oh yeah.
What's the trip on this album? I was tripping on how good George's voice is, and for a background singer, like he's for like harmonies, he does some really cool stuff, and for being that young, really, I mean, they got again a lot more sophistication.
Yeah, I think that's George and Paul, right?
Yeah,
Or at least live, when they do it live, it's George and
yeah,
Paul.
that's them too.
Yeah, I think that this song is like definitely like one of the classic sort of like it wasn't a single, was it? Like
No,
but it was one of those songs where you knew it, like and that's partly because of Ed Sullivan, but like the bass line and the guitar I think are like both really I feel like it's sort of like everything is sort of like pretty strong in this song.
the Oohs and Ahs again by John and George are just fucking spot on, man. They're just so tight, and there's a reason why Paul still plays it live, to this day.
And what I like about songs, like early songs like this, they just like this song and Please Please Me, they just like, it's just straight to the point. A quick solo, but like it adds to it.
Right.
They don't need to be flashy. It's just perfect for the song.
Yeah. But this album's crazy because, again, with the American versions, there's like, I think it's 2 albums that makes this album. Meet the Beatles, and the second album is that
They have like a bunch of the albums just like with scrambled songs.
Yeah, it wasn't until this I got the CD of this, which because I had a bunch of just albums from, I didn't know where they were from. Originally was all the Capitol albums from the United States. Kind of started getting some imports and stuff, but the CDs when they came out with the British versions and everything. And that's when I first listened to this album in that order, and it makes sense, why it was put out that way. But yeah, great album. Great.
Do you feel it flows better the U.S. or the U.K.?
Oh, this one by far. For a long time, I had a hard time. I'm sorry, listening to it because I was so used to the order of Meet the Beatles and the second album.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, it took a bit, but I like it. How were you gonna say?
I personally disagree. I like Meet the Beatles more, but it also has less songs because it was split into like 2 different albums. But it also has I Want to Hold Your Hand and This Boy.
Yeah.
And like hearing those songs like in an album, it's like like you didn't have that on any of the British albums, like, and it also has I Saw Her Standing There because like of course, but like it's still a really strong album. It's just that I feel like with the Beatles has like more songs, so it's like sort of like better in that way, but like I just sort of like the flow of Meet the Beatles a little bit more. And I think because they have like 2 singles and I Saw Her Standing There, it's a bit of a stronger, it has more strong songs, you know what I mean?
But it's kind of a trip that they would choose almost the same album cover though. Like the Meet the Beatles and With the Beatles, it's that kind of colorized version of it.
Oh yeah.
But for being such a different album, you would think they would do something different, like they did it with introducing the Beatles was exactly Please Please Me, but it had a same photo shoot, but that early look. So with Meet the Beatles, that was another confusing thing for me. Like growing up, you'd go to record stores and you see the same cover, but in I just didn't know if it was an import, if it was. A lot of the time I would just look at the cover and buy it just based on the cover. But all right,
That's the 3rd album?
this is
No, the Meet the Beatles?
no, it was American version of this. So
they
they
called it something different?
Yeah, they put out like I think in November or something, VJ Records put out Introducing the Beatles, which was essentially Please Please Me.
Gotcha.
But they were going through all this legal stuff, and somehow they were not supposed to put it out. They put it out, and it was this big legal thing. And then Meet the Beatles came out maybe a month later, 2 months later, but it came out with the title saying Meet the Beatles, their first pop album or something like that, a first album. So it was kind of confusing.
But it's this album.
No, it was the American version of this album, like half of the album, because it's split into 2 albums.
Oh.
It's just a trip. Like by the time in Britain there was 2 albums, there was like 4 over here. By the time, they just split it in, more money making machine. Yeah. All right. Okay, what's next? Ooh,
Is it George's first song?
George's first song, and I think it's really good. I think like, I just think that it's a really good song. Like he didn't do a lot of songs after this because he didn't think that it was good, but I think that it's a really good song.
What do you think about Evan?
Lyrically, honestly, I think it's on par with John and Paul's at the time.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel about it. I think it's a strong song for what he was doing.
Lyrically.
Yeah. Musically, it's pretty good too. It's got that little bossa nova beating away. The lyrics are very George-like, they kind of reflexive.
Yeah.
Kind of like doesn't want to be, messed with, left alone.
Mm-hmm. But what drags it down is I feel like Paul and John did not put any effort into helping this song.
That's
like if you just listen to it, just very straightforward, no pizzazz, no interesting bass line, no interesting bass line or anything. It's just very like, it's George's song.
I think the bass, it's not really interesting, but it at least sounds good. Like I think that it's a good song, but you're sort of right. It could have been better.
Wow, yeah. I finally said something that everyone agrees with.
Yeah.
Do the slide whistle.
No.
Look, the guitar solo is pretty decent, and it's reminiscent of a lot of the early Beatles stuff. But it has its own little sound for the song, and I think the ringing guitar part of that, I don't know if that's John or George that does that little ringing chords.
Oh yeah,
it's it sounds like George, but maybe wrong. I think this for a first song that's written by George, I think it's super strong, and like you said, I think it's right up there with John and Paul's, and nothing to look down on upon. The song's just really good.
I just think people would think of it better if there was more effort from John and Paul.
Well, also if or
it would have helped his confidence with more.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say if George was a little bit more I can make more music because after hearing this, I feel like he should have been I can make more music, but he didn't really think much of it.
But the shitty part is that the trend kind of continues throughout the years with John not putting any effort in George's songs at all. I think Paul. Once 64, 60, I feel like Paul puts his 100% on every song. Like him, and he just everything he does is perfect, for the Beatles for those years. Whereas John kind of, you can tell when it's a George song, you hardly hear anything from him. Where Paul puts all his effort in every song, so does Ringo.
Yeah,
I mean George slacks off a lot of the time with little shitty solos here and there, but Anyway,
is it competition or what do you think?
I just think shit, dude. I mean, 64, they put out, 3 albums, 2 albums, a film, a fucking world tour.
Plus a bunch of singles.
Yeah, singles, EPs. And I think it's just time constrained and just shit, let's get something out there. They had to put out, 2 albums a year or some bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think a lot of it is just lack of time and lack of just, fuck it, let's get it done,
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how many of these songs were left over from Please Please Me, as far as they know they have another album coming.
I read it was just Hold Me Tight. That was the only one that they recorded for Please Please Me.
Oh, I didn't know
but
that.
they didn't they just didn't get a good take or whatever, so they saved it for
okay.
They re-recorded it for this.
Right on. Yeah.
As far as George singing though, I didn't actually know that. I know you probably because you're all very know everything about the Beatles, but sometimes I can't even tell who, because they all almost had that same voice.
In the early years, in the early years,
definitely
totally. I had the same sort of thing where I'm looking at the back of the album and I'm like, oh, this person sang it, not this, or I think they double tracked like John during which they double tracked John or George during like one of them. But I was like, oh, what?
on Don't Bother Me, it's Paul also plays a little bit of percussion, plays all the claves, and
Oh, he does?
yeah, and John plays the tambourine on that one. So it's kind of weird. So there you go for no effort. They put an extra instrument. So, but yeah, I feel
barely
like
hear it in the song. I didn't even know they played that. It was in the song.
it's weird because on my notes, I feel it still kind of sounds kind of foolish, like full sound, like without. I have it simple but full sounding for me.
Oh,
I feel like it's not too much there, but it still has like that full sound to me. All right, which leads us to the next.
The return of the harmonica.
No, I love John as a harmonica player.
No, I think the harmonica works really good in here. The lyrics.
This is the weakest song on the album for me, by far.
Well, it's coming in a minute 30, so
It's a little.
It
It's
comes
a
and
minute 30, a
goes.
little too long.
Yeah. I go on. Sorry.
I just feel it's just like. It sounds like 1963 to me, like that background, like that. The harmonica is still a bit too much throughout the song for me. That's probably the best part of the song is the harmonica, but it's a little bit too much. Put it that way.
Yeah.
The lyrics are super weak. There's no substance behind the song. There's nothing that's interesting. This is one I used to skip. When I got the CD, it's just like
so worst song on the album
by far. And I can't say it enough. But
Well,
I've
ahead.
noticed. I noticed that the intro. Obviously, you guys are gonna die. There's the words coming, but I hear a resemblance, like structure-wise, to Instant Karma, like the down, down.
Oh.
down.
Actually,
I've never paid attention, but yeah, I guess
now
so,
I
yeah.
guess now I guess so. Yeah.
Evan,
You're
two for.
finally saying
You got a two for.
things.
I'm finally making sense.
Yeah.
Shit, did maybe
Well,
I got bullied into it. That's why.
I usually have coffee every time. Was that me?
Evan got a bullseye.
Apparently the song was supposed to be for Ringo instead of John.
Really?
So yeah, it sort of makes sense why. But I still think that like in terms of like Beatles songs, like the lyrics are like really weak, and I feel like it was meant for the harmonica solo, which is really the best part of the song. Like I don't know.
What do you think?
Well, just I heard a lot of people. I heard that a lot of people crap on it about like it's like creepy, like oh he's talking about a little child or whatever. Like
I don't see.
like-
I see it now when I hear it, but I've heard something on a podcast, but it never hit me in that.
yeah, me either.
you
Me
know,
either.
but
Yeah.
Like
Then I'm not a pervert, so
Yeah.
it's not a song they
anymore.
could get away with nowadays.
not in that way.
After listening to this song,
It's not a song. It's not lyrics you could get away with nowadays.
I just like the sad and lonely part.
That's the part I hate the
Yeah.
most.
The,
I'm so sad Yeah, it makes me go, oh shit. Oh, okay, I take it back. That's the second worst part of the song. The end, baby, take a chance with me. At the end,
Oh, yeah.
I honestly, dude, I feel secondhand embarrassment for the Beatles on that song. I don't know why. I just don't like that at all. It's just that one song that,
It's the Evan song of the album.
yeah, it's like exactly.
It's also
Now
also-
you're making sense.
I also wrote. It's also like Some Other Guy. The intro.
Okay, now you're pushing it.
No,
You
it
just
starts
wanna
with the. No, it starts with like the down, down, down.
Yeah, that's. I can see that resemblance, but
Yeah.
All right.
So the next song.
Next song.
Unless you guys have something else to say.
No.
Nah.
All right.
Well, I mean,
Let's talk to the musical expert here about
Oh,
musicals.
I love this song, and I love musicals, but like I didn't even know that this was I didn't even know that this was from a musical until like
I feel like you get dressed to this
last
song.
year.
I feel like you get dressed to this song. Like you get ready for school to this song.
Frosting in the tulips.
Tiptoe through the window.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get how you can't like this song. Like
I don't.
Who wrote this one?
it's from The Music Man. I don't know who
It's a
wrote it.
musical.
Oh, it's from music.
Yeah.
But like I love the guitar, and I love like the bongos. Like it just has like such a nice acoustic sound to it for me, and I like it.
The only thing I like about this song is the solo. That's all.
That's
I like.
it. Dude, I
Well,
feel
the-
okay. If you listen to the guitar throughout, George is doing some amazing stuff through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think well, again, it's a cover. It's a cheesy. I know Paul McCartney likes the song. Kind of, he owns it now, by the way. So
Oh, he does.
yeah, he owns all kinds of shit.
I think he owns the birthday song too, right? Happy birthday.
I don't
know. Does he?
I don't think so.
I know
That's
he
why.
owns-
That's why you don't hear it like in movies.
Oh, I
Shit.
thought it was because the person who wrote it had it.
Okay, I don't know that, but I know that he owns Annie.
Annie.
Yeah,
The musical?
yeah, he owns all kinds of shit. Yeah.
Almost feels like islandy,
This song?
like sitting on a beach in Hawaii or something,
Oh.
I can see that.
Yeah.
watching a sunset.
Yeah, I like the guitar part because it reminds of him in Mexico. That's why I like it. So, no, I just think it's a good cover. I feel that it shows their versatility as a band. I mean, they can rock the shit out of a song, but this is super mellow, and they show so much restraint on this. I think that's such a good song, and I just feel it's so cleanly done. Paul does a great song singing it, ends perfectly.
I also think like it's interesting that this song is like I think it's like the only song that doesn't have harmonies in the entire song. Like there's only the guitars, bongos, and Paul. Like but like it sounds really good. Like I don't know.
All right.
The guitar solo is really good though.
All right. You got anything else to say about it, Evan?
I guess just that, like how I said about Please Please Me, that Paul hasn't found his voice yet. I feel like on this album, like with All My Loving and this song, I think that's when he really got into like his comfort and
Yeah, those
shines
two
as a
songs
vocalist.
really show his vocals.
Yeah.
Although
The
later.
song's crap though.
I
don't think it's crap. I really think it's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as calling it crap, but
it's
Okay, poop.
not.
I mean, it's 10 times better than Little Child, I think, and it's just
Yeah.
it's one of the songs I'll listen to like on my own. Like if I not listen to a full album, I'll put that song on, and it's a good song. Next on the list, I want to say we have Please Mr. Postman, right?
Better
Yes.
than the original.
Classic.
By
way
far.
way better than the original.
You know what this album has a lot of is hand claps. I don't know if you guys noticed. Do they clap a lot
yeah.
in this
Oh,
song?
yeah.
You know,
It's weird how they could do that while playing their instruments at the same time.
it's probably Ringo and so dude, the energy they put on this song is it's like it's a Marvelettes, right, that do the song originally.
I don't know.
They're all kind of like one group to me.
Oh yeah, I mean, we listened to it yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
The
original.
original. We
We
listened,
listened
to like
to the
a
original.
bunch of original. Man, the Beatles take the shit out of every song. First off, so.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I mean, it holds like a special place for me because my mom liked it a lot.
Mm.
But it has man, I don't know. It's just that feeling of like, it's to me it's super nostalgic. Is that what you say? And I mean the background. It's just that I don't know. They copied everything the Marvelettes did, but they just did it so much better.
Yeah.
And I can't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I think that John like takes it to sort of like to the next level. Like in songs like Please Mr. Postman, Anna, like he puts all of his like emotions into the lyrics, which really like elevates the song. Like he really like you can feel like his, you know what I mean? Like it's just like he really sings it out, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I really like the background vocals.
Mhm.
I think that's a highlight for me in this song.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think John sings the shit out of it. I like it all. I just feel like it's one of those songs that they covered perfectly, and it easily could have passed as a Beatles song.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Not lyrically, it's not something I don't think they would have wrote, but as far as the way they performed it, it's
It's kind of like It Won't Be Long.
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah, in a way, it's got that. I think It Won't Be Long has that strong intro beginning shit, but yeah, it's a good song, man, and I think they did it justice and then some. So right on.
Yeah. I like the song a lot better than the original. I think they I think they did a really good job.
Okay, I got my other notes here. All right.
Chuck Berry.
Yeah, Chuck Berry. Yeah, we listened to the song. This is pretty much a cover. Like they didn't change too much from the original cover. I think Chuck Berry does a badass version of it. I mean, he is Chuck Berry. Yeah. Again, I mean, George plays it well, sings it well. It's surprising to me that they played this live so many times. I don't know why. I feel like them. I mean, I understand them singing the songs that they play the best. I think like for a live performance, but they had so many other good songs that when they they could have played live. But again,
it's probably just to have George have his moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Because at the time he probably didn't have that many songs he could do.
They did the song really well though. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those songs where like the original is like also like up there with the Beatles, like because they didn't really do anything like super like out there to like make it like extremely better. But like they did it. I like this version better.
Do you like this more than the ELO version?
Yeah, the
Ooh,
ELO
what?
version's like really. I mean, it's
Mr.
good.
ELO?
It's like 6-8 minutes.
Is
long.
it?
It's like a really long cover.
6 minutes?
That's
That's like 12 Beatles songs.
That's the whole album.
Yeah. But I figure like for what they were doing at the time, it's a strong cover, and they needed it for the album, and it fits well. And I think it charted in a few countries. It's a trip. But
That's a sick riff.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be my favorite song, my favorite Beatles song for a while. This was before. I think it was before I had the album, or was it after I had the album? I don't remember.
You were into a lot of the rocker songs when I was
I liked a lot of the rock and roll sort of songs. It's not my favorite anymore, but like it's really good.
Roll over Beethoven topic here. What's your first like memory of with the Beatles, Evan?
Wow, I don't even know. It was one of those albums I never really listened to.
Really?
Yeah, I remember. I have vivid memories of "Please Please Me," like Abbey Road, and like all these other albums, Revolver especially. But this was one of them that I just never really had like a memorable moment to. And it kind of shows because it's like when we did the listing, it was one of my least favorite albums, and it still kind of is. But it's I don't know. Listening to it right now, it really shines how George's voice, like he had a lot of power to it, and
right,
very underrated.
Was it 19 at the time?
I think so. Yeah,
Wow.
like 1920.
Also, the ELO version is 8 minutes and 8 seconds long.
Shit.
It's a really good cover.
Is it mostly like instrumental?
It's a lot of instrumental. It's ELO.
Okay. Well, there's not a ELO podcast.
Well, Evan brought it up.
All right.
All right. 9th track is Hold Me Tight.
Go on.
Honestly, a long time ago, this was probably one of my favorites. It decreased since then, but yeah, it's kind of just
More hand claps.
It doesn't really go anywhere musically, but I think Paul sounds decent, but it's one of those like middle of the road songs for me.
Yeah, I mean it's a filler song. I think it's not like never intended to be like a single or anything, but to me this is my Beatle cartoon memory. Like you have a song about Beatle cartoons. This is mine. I think they're at the Statue of Liberty and they're falling or something like that. And one of the other.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like I think my first really memory of the song where I paid more attention to it. It's a good enough song. It's again early Beatles song. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing spectacular either. And
another call and response type structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the song. I've got to be honest. I think that Paul's vocals are really like weak and sort of like lazy, especially as it gets towards the end. Like his vocals sort of just like you can see that this is just because they needed another song.
It's kind of like a demo.
Yeah, like
they're trying to make a demo out of it instead of an actual.
Yeah,
recording.
It doesn't feel like they put, especially like around here, you sort of like hear that he sort of like loses energy. But like I think that the like you don't know what it means to hold you tight. That part's pretty good.
I like that part too.
I think that's sort of like the best part of it. But like I think that there wasn't really enough energy from Paul to make it like that stand out.
Or musically either, because I don't think there's any solo in here, is it?
Yeah, no, there isn't.
To me, I always overheard the hand claps on this one. I don't know why it just sticks in my head a lot. Like, all I hear is
that
clapping.
sticks out to you the most.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
I never noticed.
Yeah, honestly,
that and Please Mr. Postman makes me want to clap along. I don't know.
Please Mr. Postman, yeah.
If you ever see me down the street with headphones on, I'm probably clapping and probably listening to one of those songs. So,
yeah, right. I don't think that this is. I mean, to each his own.
Yeah, it's middle of the road in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not that good.
Okay, Matt, you're off the show.
Just joking.
All right, the next one on the list is You Really Got a Hold on Me, right? Yep.
My opinion, the best cover on this album.
Oh, really?
I'm going to say that right now.
I think it's a great cover, but I think Please Mr. Postman is a way better cover. Because the reason being, this one's a straightforward cover, I think. Better than Smokey Robinson by far. But it's not, they didn't change too much.
Is it a Smokey song?
Yeah. To me, it's just a well done cover, but I feel like Please Mr. Postman, they changed it a little bit. Even with the title, they wrote out Mr. So whereas Marble Edge had MR. So but anyway, that's not a big difference. I'm just saying again, George's voice on this is really good on the background. So
yeah,
the harmonies are really good in this song. I feel like I feel like they work really well together. Like,
did we talk about Ringo?
Who?
You haven't even mentioned Ringo today.
I mean, I feel
the
like
song's coming up.
I feel like in this album,
the first track about the drums. Nothing else.
I feel like in this album,
Is he on this album?
Oh, actually,
could have been Pete Best.
I mentioned his bongos until there was you.
It's with the Beatles except Ringo.
I feel like they turned down Ringo in like his like volume in this album a lot more than like usual. You know what I mean? Like you can hear him, but it's like very faint. You have to like listen.
I always feel bad for him on the cover. He's the only one on the bottom. Like there's 3 Beatles and then he's the leftover.
He looks so sad too. He looks so sad.
He's always looked at like that.
Yeah, really.
I don't know. I think, that's funny.
I heard a resemblance to this and All I've Got to Do. Like I feel like that they try to make
I guess so.
their own version of this song, and that's what All I've Got to Do came out to be.
Kinda. I don't know. Maybe.
But no.
I don't see that. But
you heard it and then you were like, "Oh no, I can't
agree with.
I can't agree with Evan." Yeah.
I've already agreed with him twice. I can't do it a third.
Yeah, really. And there's only on this song.
There's only 3 a day.
Yeah, so that's a good one though.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure. It might be John and George, the only one singing.
Yeah, and then Paul at the very end.
Oh,
okay. Did the high voice.
That's cool because, in my opinion, John and George are my favorite Beatles. So it's cool hearing only them two.
See, I think John.
You don't like Octopus's Garden and Don't Pass Me By?
That's not John.
I don't have a favorite Beatle. It's hard to say. Every day it changes. It's never really been Ringo. I'm going to say that. Like maybe one day out of the week or something.
I feel like it's George for you for some reason.
I'm a big George guy, but mainly because of spirituality stuff, and I think he's badass, right? But I would say George, John, Paul, Ringo, in my opinion.
A lot of covers. I didn't realize how many covers they actually did in the
early
days.
A lot of covers. 6 in this one.
I think Please Please Me too, right?
6 in Please Please Me. Yeah. None in Hard Day's Night.
What songs did they give away around this time? They gave away Bad to Me, that Billy J. Kramer song, which is a really good song. Have you ever heard the version of John singing that like in a demo?
I think so.
I really wish they would have recorded that song. It's just
There's also a demo of I'm in Love. I think that's around this time. Or is that like more Hard Day's Night?
It's got to be a
little later.
Like early 64-ish, right? Probably a little bit after this. I guess. I don't know. Hard to say. I wasn't there. All right. Next one.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about Ringo.
There we go.
Yeah, Ringo got the best song, totally.
Again, not saying his vocals are great, but there's confidence.
Okay.
He just goes all out. Like
Well, you guys know this was a song the Beatles gave to the Stones, right? The
Yeah.
Stones'
Mhm.
first #1 song.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a little dick move? Like oh, let's just give him this song. Like,
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
And it
because-
backfired because it worked. No, and I feel like this is the only Ringo could sing the song for the Beatles
Yeah.
after the Stones did it.
yeah, I can't see anyone else singing it.
Yeah. The lyrics are pretty weak.
Kind of caveman in a way, you know. Like that's what I always just remind me. It's super simple. Like
He
This
should.
gets-
It works as he was in a movie called Caveman.
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah, like you said, it's the lyrics are weak, but
Well,
the
he just
energy.
keeps repeating the same.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much. But the energy kind of makes up for it,
Yeah.
especially because like the whole album is like an R&B type like feel. So it's cool that there's like this rocker towards the end. So
I
think
guess so.
It serves its purpose.
Yeah, I think the solo is pretty good. But like, yeah, it's like the weak.
It's kind of
Well,
like a little
it's-
punk esque
Yeah.
kind of.
I think I think you're pushing it there, but no, it's definitely a heavier song for that time. But I don't know. I like John and Ringo's combination vocals in a way with but
That part's cool.
Yeah.
yeah, this has never been one of my favorites. I like Paul screaming. I mean, it's a decent song, but again, it's never been one of my favorites.
Yeah, they all put some effort.
The barking kind of reminds me of early Hey Bulldog or something.
All right. Track 12, Devil in Her Heart. Is this a cover?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is I love this song.
You would.
Well, I think that it's a good song. I don't know.
It's a great song. The one downfall on this song, to me, is John's. She's got the devil in. It sounds like so like sarcastic. Like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. Just get it done. But I like the song a lot, man. I thought it was a Beatles song
Yeah.
as a kid.
Actually, funny that I put background vocals can be annoying.
I put harmonies as something I liked in this song.
I like the harmonies when they're just in the ah part. They're just so perfect when it's just Paul and John just doing like the ahs, and then but it's a lot of stuff going on in this song if you really listen to it.
Yeah.
George's all over the place. It's again another girl band cover. I mean, they do.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was like I don't know if it's a real girl band or a solo artist, but we heard it again yesterday, and
Like not is it doo-wop? Kind of doo-wop
Kinda.
feel?
Yeah.
A lot of the songs actually.
Yeah.
yeah, R&B kind of doo-wop-y-ish,
Yeah.
and yeah.
And they sort of like wrote their songs sort of like in the same sort of style.
Yeah, that hardest part of it. Really was.
I don't know. I like it.
No, I like it too. And
This was on the bottom of your list, I think, right?
it's probably in the middle somewhere. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but the intro to this, it's always reminded me of the Teach Yourself George Harrison. Remember that guy on YouTube, Stevie Ricks? He like this is the intro to the George Harrison one.
Oh yeah. I don't remember the video, but you guys all into that. No, I think it's
Isn't that Paul though?
no, that's John.
I hear Paul.
I thought I could swear it's John, but
It's Ringo, actually.
well, it does sound like Paul in the headphones, huh?
Yeah.
It's Pete.
Billy Preston. You hear that little
Yeah, I heard
false,
Paul. I heard
the,
Paul.
false
That
intro
little
at the end.
guitar though. That's a nice little
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Evan hasn't mentioned Mexico once today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm Canadian today.
Oh, shit. All right.
It's good
Yeah.
ending.
It's a good ending.
Uh-oh. I think I know what's coming up next.
Okay, Evan, you go first.
Yeah.
Besides those songs that are
Okay, just so we all know, Evan does not like the song. Why? Who knows? But go ahead.
so there's besides Revolution 9, Dig It, Maggie May, all those like fragment songs.
Okay.
I'm talking about complete songs. And this is a complete song, and I hate it.
Well, Revolution
in
9
my-
is
my-
a complete song.
In my opinion, it's their
Dig It is
worst, my least favorite Beatles song that they actually put effort into.
Really?
So at this time they're all writing love songs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to please their audience, mostly love songs.
Mostly, yeah.
And I feel like at this point they've written so many good love songs, so then they wrote this one. Like, okay, how do we make this different? Let's add 10 syllables to every word. You know, it's like da 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 da. You know, it's like just shut up, because like it's kind of,
you can't say that about the Beatles. Can this get recorded?
no, it's not you guys shut up. No, it's good. No, so like it's kind of like it's not just Beatles. Like, you know, like at football games when they sing Amazing Grace, and like the singers do like the vocal runs for like 5 minutes. Just sing the song. Just get to the point.
Well, see the song. Jake and I were talking about the song.
And you guys both think
Against
it's number
You.
one. And you guys both think it's number
No,
one.
no,
Yeah,
I don't think it's
totally.
number one. But I think the lyrics are actually really strong. But they should put some more effort into the production of it too. Or maybe extend a couple more lyrics. I understand what you're saying about the dragging things out, but the lyrics that are there, it's a really good song. And it's I think the piano kind of just George Martin, right, on the piano.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, to me, gives it a downer feeling, where I think it would have been better with the George solo.
Guitar solo.
But the end's cool, man.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, when it's over, like, yeah, that was cool.
yeah, I don't see it as the worst Beatles song.
I don't know.
I don't even see it on the worst song on this album.
Yeah, no.
And but
Yeah, Little Child, right?
yeah, for sure. But to each his own, man.
Yeah.
We live in a
But-
free-ish country, so.
But why do you guys like it? Jacob,
Well-
why do you like the song?
Well, one of the reasons why I like a lot of the songs on this album,
No, I'm talking about this one.
like
This is-
like Not a Second Time, is because when I got this album, they would get stuck in my head, so I would just think about them a lot, and like, so then it's sort of just like stuck in my head. So like when I listen to the album, I'm like, oh yeah, I like this song. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like anything really like deep or anything, like, or like any real reason why I don't like it. I mean, I do like choral music, so like I sort of like have to get used to like doing the runs and stuff, like in.
I didn't mean to offend you.
Yeah, I know. I'm so offended. But yeah, I mean, like, I never really found that to be like annoying or anything. So yeah, I mean,
So am
I
I,
like
going to
it.
listen to this again? Not a second time.
Oh god.
oh my
I've been
god,
waiting for that one.
he had it written down. Now he's checking
Like
off.
checking it off.
Yeah.
Like it did not go over well.
Yeah, he's all waiting. A tough audience here.
That played better in my head. All right. Anything else on the second time?
No, she good.
So this is the last track, Money.
That's what I want.
Is this a cover?
Yes.
Fuck. What did they write on this album? Is All My Loving Yours?
Little
Yeah,
Child. They
Thank
wrote.
God.
Okay. I know it's supposed to be like a rocker on the album, but I don't like the lyrics.
Well, you can't really judge them on that.
Well,
No, I
yeah.
can't. But they could have chose a different song.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mhm. They did a complete 180 with "Can't Buy Me Love."
Yeah, no shit. That's always thought about that too.
Oh.
But I mean, it's better than the original one again. I liked it for a long time until I'm saying maybe last 10 years. It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those songs that just doesn't go anywhere for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, if it's on, I'll listen to it. But if I had the choice of skipping it, most likely I would skip it. You know, depending on the place and time. But it's not one of my favorite Beatles songs. What do you think, Evan? Sorry, I'm sorry. I pointed at Jacob. Sorry.
What do you think, Evan?
Yeah, I agree. It's they're probably trying to recreate the magic that they did with Twist and Shout.
That's kind of what I
by
felt.
Yeah.
ending it with like a strong rock cover.
John's voice kind of tearing up a little bit. You know.
Yeah, it's just one of those, again, middle of the road. I just like the others more.
Yeah, I don't really like I realized maybe about last year that this is a rock song, but it doesn't have the same effect as like I feel even like I Want to Be Your Man is sort of like a little bit like more rock, but like Money is like a complete song. I feel like it has like better lyrics. It's not great lyrics, but like it's better than but like I just feel like it's sort of like thrown in there at the end.
Yeah. Well, for the amount of energy that they're trying to put into it, I feel like it needs a solo. For the amount of like
Yeah.
singing, the energy that they're putting in their singing.
I do like that, kind of like that feel of the music, the way it's like kind of reminds me of a train. It just as a kid, it always reminded me of a train starting. I don't know why, and it kind of stuck with me as an adult. I don't know why, and when I see a train, it reminds me of money. So
I don't know the connection.
me either, dude. It's just one of those things. I didn't say there's a connection. I just said it reminds me of you. So
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, but again,
Not really train like.
Maybe not, but that's what it reminds me of. So, but yeah, that was a good album. And overall, we listened to it. I've probably listened to this album like 4 times in the last couple of weeks, and I don't get tired of hearing it. I really don't. I just feel it's pretty entertaining and it's short. It's like 33 minutes. So
Yeah.
What since there's so many, it's almost half and half covers, half original. What's your favorite? Well, I think we all know what the best song on the album is.
okay, well,
Well, I'm gonna have a very different list than everyone else.
okay,
Okay, let's put it this way. Let's just make like best original, best cover on the album.
Okay.
Okay, let's do a quick ranking of of the songs, and that'll tell us what we do.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
who wants to go first?
I'll go second.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, at 14, I got No Surprise, Little Child, followed by I Want to Be Your Man, Money, Not a Second Time, Devil in Her Heart, Hold Me Tight, Roll Over Beethoven, Don't Bother Me, Till There Was You, You Really Got a Hold on Me, All I Gotta Do, It Won't Be Long, Please Mr. Postman, that's the strongest one for me as a cover, and All My Loving as the strongest song on the album.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess he's
No,
going.
what?
No, I didn't get like half of that. Sorry.
Oh,
No, I was trying to keep note of it, and
okay.
you
sorry
were like
about
going through it. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. 14, Not a Second Time.
that. Mhm.
13, Till There Was You. Sorry, Jake.
Shit.
12, Devil in Her Heart. 11, All I've Got to Do.
Wow.
10, Don't Bother Me. 9, Little Child. 8, Money. 7, Hold Me Tight. 6, Roll Over Beethoven.
5,
5, Please Mr. Postman. 4, I Want to Be Your Man.
3,
It Won't Be Long.
2,
You Really Got a Hold on Me.
1.
All My Living.
All right.
Okay.
That's our lists are way different.
Yeah.
Our lists are way different except for number 1.
Get ready for mine. 14, I have Hold Me Tight. 13, Little Child.
Okay.
12, I Want to Be Your Man. 11, Money. These are my favorites. 10, All My Loving.
Dang.
Whoa.
Yes, see? Now you know what it feels like.
Whoa.
Play your little whistle now.
That's
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
I'll play that on myself.
Wait, hold on. I have something for that. Say what your number 10 is again?
My 10 is everyone else's number 1. It's All My Loving.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
Wait, so starting from 10, that's when you start liking these songs? Or how did you say that?
Starting from 9, I'm like,
Starting from 9?
I like all of these songs. It's just like, actually no. The bottom 4, Money, I Want to Be Your Man, Little Child, and Hold Me Tight. Those ones are sort of like toss away for me. All My Loving I really like, but like it's not one of my favorites out of the album that I would like seek to listen to.
Would you have it at number what?
10.
10.
Fuck.
That's insane.
9, Roll Over Beethoven.
Okay.
8, Not a Second Time. 7, Please Mr. Postman. 6, You Really Got a Hold on Me. 5, Don't Bother Me. 4, All I've Got to Do. 3, Devil in Her Heart. 2, It Won't Be Long. And 1, Till There Was You.
Oh man.
Do you have a cricket
Okay.
sound effect?
Yeah, really. That surprised even me, and I'm his dad. So yeah.
Well, I couldn't get anyone else's.
Right on. Well,
I'm not the insane one today.
well, overall, I think I would listen to this album 100 times again. I've listened to this album since I was like 6, and I don't get tired. Well, this combination of songs somehow, but yeah, I think again, it's why the Beatles are the Beatles. It just shows great musicianship. It shows great songwriting with the songs that they write. Again, versatility. They could fit in with the slow songs, the fast songs. You do start seeing a little bit more of the polish production on it, and great classic cover album. I think it's
very copied.
Yeah,
One of the most copied
yeah
album covers.
I
I would say, I agree with what you just said, but the track listing, in my opinion, is very stop and go, like very energetic then slow, energetic then slow. It's very like
Yeah, I sort of get that.
It's kind of like a weird flow, or
But
there is no.
I feel like at this point, the Beatles weren't still the Beatles. They were still kind of like,
Yeah.
I think the next album coming up, they had a lot more say, a lot more, more credibility.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
true.
songwriting comes up. So I think for what they were doing, for being such a young band, I think it's great. And sorry, one thing I wasn't tell you guys was just George Harrison. I mean, like even with the demos with Pete Best, the Decca demos.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him a lot of songs to sing. Like they were pretty equal with those guys, with John, George, and Paul. They seemed like they gave each other a lot of songs to. Like you think that George being the young guy, you would give him 1 or 2 songs with them, but I feel like this whole album went well, and I like the George participation a lot in this whole album. So
Yeah, that's why I say he's the MVP. In my opinion, he's the MVP of the album.
yeah, I got John as like, because again his singing is out of control in this one.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think they all 4 come together pretty well. And
So obviously, it's a better sounding album than Please Please Me. Do you think it's better quality wise? Like, has your list changed? Because I think we all had Please Please Me above with the Beatles.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
I
still?
would say that Please Please Me is better.
Yeah.
I would still say so too.
I think so too, based on the rawness of it and the track of the even the covers they picked for Please Please. I think they have some really strong covers here, but I don't know. I really like Ask Me Why.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like that's a better written song than it probably competes with All My Loving on this album as far as that goes.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
think they're so close. They're so close together as far as time wise. I know.
I disagree.
You are way off on this one.
Yeah, no.
I feel like if Please Please Me had this production, it would be regarded higher.
Yeah. I think that there were a lot more good songs, or like I feel like what I'd say about Please Please Me is it has a lot better and like more like drastic like highs and lows. Like I think that like their best songs on that album are like way better than like the best songs on With the Beatles, and their worst song on that album, which we agree is A Taste of Honey. I think that that's like worse than like any song on With the Beatles. So I think that like
There's a little bit of both.
there With the Beatles is like perfectly like mediocre compared to Please Please Me.
Perfectly
Where
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
which like no, I'm not trying to be like negative about it. Like I think it's a really good album and it's a really strong album. It's just like compared to Please Please Me, like Please Please Me is just like a stronger album, even if it has like
I
Taste
think
of
they're
Honey.
right there. I think they're like neck and neck, and to me they sound like their instrumentation sounds the same, like the way they're. It's just it's a little bit more polished, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's that far off. Or to me, it makes sense to be their second album. So, I'm not as harsh as you guys judging the Beatles. So, but yeah.
Really quick, what's the space between the releases of Please Please Me and With the Beatles?
I could tell you that.
Look it up.
With the Beatles was released November 22nd, 1963. And Please Please Me, March 22nd. So both 22nds. So
so
8 months or
3
9 months.
Yeah. 8 months.
8 months
Yeah. 8 months apart.
Sure.
That's
to the day.
not a lot of time.
Shit, I've been working on one same song for like 12 years. Right on. Well, that was a good episode, guys. Next time we'll be discussing Hard Day's Night. We'll be doing the same kind of format.
Sweet album cover, by the way, on this one.
Yeah, I agree. It's a classic, man. So we'll see you guys next time. And thanks a lot to my co-host Jake, Evan, and producer Matt.
All right, thank
See
you.
you guys next time.